up, everyone? I'm Undrea King.
And I'm Andy Speed.
And welcome to the Wholesale Nation podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, this is the podcast where we give you all the tips and tricks that you need to get started in the wholesaling business. Also, we're the owners of Draco Properties. So if you have properties that you are looking to move or sell, give us an email at offers@dracoproperties.com. And then, of course, we need your help. Andy's been looking at the reviews, and we need some help in order to spread the word around. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and also leave a review. With that said, let's go ahead and get this party started. Andy, what's been going on?
I'm excited. So the land mail just dropped for Argyle. Those calls, today or tomorrow?
Yeah, today or tomorrow. If you hadn't get
they should hit the mailbox.
Yeah.
Haven't got any yet. Got a Spanish lead this morning. I didn't get to check and see what campaign it came through. Could have been apartment. Those are still coming to me. So I don't know where it came from. The guy spoke Spanish. I don't speak Spanish.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty exciting. What about yourself?
For here, we've been buying in multiple states, Ohio, Texas, Louisiana. And so now I've been working with the disposition team. So that's been a new challenge for them to be able to sell these properties. We contracted, I think, 21 properties last month. But, contracting is one thing. The other thing is to turn them into money. Right?
So we were at, 38%?
Yeah.
Fallout
rate, yeah.
So 21 deals, that's basically 11.
Right.
That'll close at some point this month, hopefully this month.
Right.
Yeah, they definitely don't need to push till November. A couple of them will probably push till November.
Yeah.
But another interesting thing happened. So forgot about this. If y'all don't think this community is small, you have no idea. So we just got a call the other day from friend of the show, Corey. Right? A deal that we locked up about a year and a half ago, a year ago.
Yeah.
Or so, somewhere right in there.
Yeah, it's last year.
Yeah,
it was a while ago.
Got a call from him saying he's coming into town. Got a call later on saying, "Hey, I popped your memo."
Yeah.
So, small world. He's up there in Phoenix. We're here in Houston. Obviously, this deal's down here.
Right.
But yeah, pretty crazy small world to get a phone call from Corey that we locked up the same deal.
Yeah. So kudos for him for marketing, right? So we know he's working if he's locking up deals, right? Because he hit our memo. And for those who don't know what a memo is, go back. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it in one of our episodes, but it just stops. It just clouds title, so it keeps people from going around you, basically.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
Small world.
Yeah, small world. But no, exciting times. Like I said, for us, we're working through some things on disposition, so I'm pretty excited about that. Right now, I think our acquisition has been outpacing our dispositions. So now we're just trying to catch all that up now that we got some new people started, so doing some training there. Also, we're looking for a transaction coordinator right now, so we're looking for someone to be able to help us close these properties as well.
I still think we can go virtual with that.
Yeah,
but anyways, let's talk about
that's the thought process. Yeah, so we may be going virtual with that. We're going to see here pretty soon.
Man, it's so powerful to be able to just select from all the available candidates out there, as opposed to just somebody that's local. We can choose the best candidate that we can find, period. Right. And, without having to come in office. It is nice to have somebody come in office, especially for you, because you're doing the memos and the TC stuff. So you're tied to that. So that's a huge convenience for you to have somebody in the house.
Yeah. Cause I had to go by title yesterday.
Yeah.
So those little things that you don't have to do, that I think when I say, hey, I'm gonna go virtual. But it really is nice when I don't have to stop by there and sign little papers and things like that.
Dude, it's so nice to not have to come to the office, though.
Yeah,
for real. And this week,
yeah,
like if you're not from Houston, around Houston, this is the week of the year where it's really nice. We have like
the week of the year.
Yeah, we have a week straight, and then we have like a week scattered out to finish off the year, and then we'll have another week, in the spring, and then another additional. We get like 4 California weeks a year, which is nice. I enjoy it. I don't mind the heat. I'm a native Houstonian, but still, it would be nice to be outside.
I don't actually remember us having this much good weather ever.
I do because Facebook reminded me of one of the nicest days of the year in 2016 or 17 or whatever.
Exactly.
Whenever I totaled my Jeep,
it
was like the first nice day of the year. It was like, man, I'm going for a topless ride.
Right.
My daughter and I went down to the water, and I got T-boned. But anyways, yeah, absolutely.
So you want to get in the topic of the day?
Yeah. And this is This is a challenging topic, and I posted in Wholesale Nation on the Facebook group, some mindset shift ideas, of I wanted people to really recognize where they were and where they are now, because you are growing, you are changing, and I'm running up against this with my daughter. She's 13, doing the volleyball tryouts at school for the first time, et cetera. So she's going through a lot of learning about failure and who she is as a competitor. And, she's always been a great student. Now it's time to compete with girls her age. Like she's, so something that's been near and dear on my mind is starting where you are. You don't become an expert overnight. Right. So, and what does it mean to you, Undrea, when I say start where you are?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that, because that's what I was, that's kind of the question I had, right? But I guess when I look at starting where you are is it's what you have at your disposal, right? What skills that you have, like who you are is basically the answer for that, right? I also see it as, not delaying, right? You just have to start, right? I think that also goes into people who don't get started in this business because they feel like they have to be someone else. They feel like they have to learn all this information. They feel like they have to be good at everything, every part of the business. And you realize that you don't have to do that, right? You can start where you're at right now. And so basically start with who you are, right?
Well, you've got to see that in the fitness industry, like coming from the fitness industry. So, when I started CrossFit, right? And I'm surprised I'm one of those guys mentioning, I'm no longer going to CrossFit, right? But
most people aren't.
But yeah, exactly. It was challenging for me to not look at the people that have been coming for years.
Yeah.
And, I'm struggling with stuff that I just couldn't get into that position. I couldn't even get into the position to do what we were supposed to be doing. I wasn't flexible enough.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at these other people, and sometimes women that are just kicking my butt on these weights. And at the end of it, I'm dying, and they're just like, all right, I'm ready for another round. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Right.
It really took everything. It took it out of it for me for a while. Cause I'm killing myself in there, and I'm not getting the same results as everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's got to be common in the gym industry, because everybody's looking around, like, what's this guy lifting, et cetera? What's this girl doing? What do they look like?
I think that's actually one of the biggest things that, one of the biggest fears for people that come into the gym. The reason why they don't come in is they feel like, everybody's going to be way ahead of them. Right. But then they don't realize that the average person that's in the gym is just like them. That's why they're in the gym. Right. They started at some point and now they're here. Right. So they just need to get in there and, like you said, get started where they're at right now, and then you'll get there one day. Right. But right now it's where you're at right now.
So how do you keep the blinders on?
Yeah. So that's a hard one. Right, because you have this mind. Your mind is telling you that that you're way behind everyone. Are you talking about just for the gym industry?
It applies to anything.
Yeah. I think your mind is telling you need to be at point Z, right? And you need to get back to, I need to start here at point A, right? And I think about for myself, getting started in this business, is that sometimes you just you look at some of the people out there that have teams and all this other stuff, and they've been doing it for years. You got to recognize that you're not going to get out there the first day and be like them, right? You're not going to be able to talk to business like them. You're not going to be able to manage a team like them the first day that you get started. So you got to start at the basics. If you've never done a deal before, then the basics is go talk to some people. So you got to go back to just what are the basics of the business. And I think that a lot of people don't see that. They just see all they look at where everybody else is at, right? And they start comparing themselves to those people.
Okay. Great point. Comparison is the stealer of joy.
Right.
It will take all the joy that you have. You could be happy with where you are. You see where somebody else is, you're miserable.
Right.
If you only look at yourself and where you've come, then one, you actually have the control to change it. Mm-hmm. So if you are really analyzing where you are, how you need to get better, and then working on that day in and day out, just think about it. The power, if you every day you got just a little bit better, 0.5% better, 0.25% better, in whatever it may be, but you did it consistently every day. 5 years down the road, you're like miles away from where you were.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we have a little thing called social media. And that's where a lot of people get caught up in that, right? So you start looking at people who are quote unquote ahead of you, right? And you start looking at what you think or perceive their lifestyle to be, and you're like, I suck.
I suck at life.
Right. Why can't I just sell a deal, right? Why hadn't I got my first deal? You know, I got this guy he says he's doing 21 deals a month, right? And I'm struggling to get one, right? But see, what you don't see is kind of like, I think the saying is, you see my glory, but you don't know the story, right? So,
ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So the thing that you don't see is all the hard work and all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into the work before that. Before that person got to doing 21 deals a month.
You see the results.
Yeah. So all you're seeing is the end result, right?
Yeah.
You need to go back, talk to that person, take me back to day one, and you'll hear the real story. And then you'll actually realize, okay, wow, do I even want to put this much work in to have all that, right? Maybe that's not me, all right? Maybe that's not, that's not what I want, right? And you end up, now you look at the comparison, you're like, well, I need to start here and be here because this is what I really want. Right. And I think, like I said, social media has a big impact on that because people want the end result, but they don't want the actual work that goes into it.
That's so interesting. And then, I mean, this is obviously something that's important to us because it's made it into our core values as Wholesale Nation. Mm-hmm. One of those is get better.
Yeah.
And if you guys have not been able to make it to the meetup, we haven't had it since February?
Right. I think we should start going virtual like next month and be ready for like January in person probably. If they allow us.
Can't believe this year is just gone.
Yes.
But so it's been a while since we've been to the meetup, but one of our core values is get better. And that's, we want to remind everybody every week the commitment is, we actually have, it's been common that I've had the people in the audience turn to their neighbor and say, you are not my competition.
Right.
And then to the one that they don't like as much, have them say it again, I am my own competition. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
In all things, you're really in competition with yourself.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to focus on yourself because, as science would show, I'm more likely to guess your IQ than I know my own.
Right.
Right. So there's that, or actually, I know you personally, but you're more likely to guess the IQ or be more accurate on a complete stranger than you are yourself.
Yeah.
And you would think that wouldn't be the case because you know yourself, but you deceive yourself constantly.
Yeah.
The lies that you believe day in and day out, you believe things to be true and they're not, right? So that's one of the most challenging things with being able to analyze where you are in order to get better, right? So how would you even do that?
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot.
Right. So, I would say the first thing I would look at, number one is you already gave one of the answers is you need to get better. So we can break down what it looks like to get better, first of all. Right. But you're going to have to decide like what skills you have at your disposal. Right. So what type of work that you've done in the past? Do you have sales skills? If, especially, with wholesaling, do you have sales skills? Are you great at marketing? Are you an analytical person? Right. You need to decide, you need to, figure out what do you bring to the table. Right. And so everyone brings something to the table. If you're a living human being, even if you've never had a job, then you got school. We got a lot of 18-year-olds that are doing this. I see some people younger than that. You know what you like to do and you know what you're great at, right? Start there, right? And then that's your starting point.
I've seen some people that thought they were great singers and they were not great singers.
They thought they were a great singer.
So then I would argue that you need to talk to your friends and family.
Yeah.
You can self-analyze and see where you are.
Talk to some other people.
See where you are in, you got to know yourself to some degree.
Yeah.
But if you're starting off in this business and you've only worked part-time at a grocery store, say you're 17 years old, just about to graduate high school, you really don't have that life experience yet. So what do you do to alter your expectations versus like you starting your business when you had managed, multiple people, probably hundreds of people over your career, managed the gym, managed the financials, done the team meetings, done all that stuff. You had life experience when you started your business. What do you do how do you not compare yourself? Because you're competing, like you're that 17-year-old in the grocery store competing against Undrea, who's got, 15 years experience in corporate. And
I think you gave the answer to that already. The difference is between the 17-year-old and Undrea is you and you. Right? The difference that you bring to the table is you. All right. Because you bring, even though he's 17 years old, he brings himself that I can never bring. I can never bring him. Right. I can only bring my experiences.
Yeah, but this guy's got to learn how to do everything. He's got to learn how to manage budgets, taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're starting it.
Yeah. So I think that's all great. And that person will learn that. And so that's one of the things we talked about is that, as you get going in this business, the things that you're not great at, then you need to start looking at, maybe I can hire these things out, right? Can I find somebody who can do this for me because I'm not great at it right now?
How do you turn that into an advantage?
Turning knowing
being naive, being 17, being 18, being 22.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I didn't know this,
right?
But I've got a 13-year-old daughter, and I didn't know that my parents were still learning when they were raising me. I'm still learning like nonstop.
Yeah.
They
knew everything.
Yeah, exactly. I thought they were done growing. And I look at my daughter, I'm like, damn, she must think I'm a fool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she turned on the lights in the car the other day, and I was just like, wait, I can't see. And I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, I can see.
She thinks right now you know everything, right? So right now she thinks you know everything.
I think she knows very well I don't.
Yeah.
I tell her all the time, I don't know a damn thing.
Yeah. But I think what you said about talking to other people, I think if you talk to the people that are close to you, even that 17-year-old, right? The people that really know them, they can give you that answer. Like, so what do you feel like I'm great at? Right. And they can give you, like you said, they can give you like, these are the things that I see that you're great at. Mm-hmm. Right. And so you can take those, and then the things that you're going to need for this business, like when you're wholesaling, you're going to need a few things, right? You're going to need to be able to sell. You're going to have to market, right? You're going to have to do some admin work, right? So that's the major three. Right. And if one of those are kind of lagging behind, you're going to know that that's going to be the first thing you need to, like, if you suck at paperwork, like Andy, right?
I knew you were talking to me.
So, yeah, if you suck at paperwork like Andy, then you know that the first person that you're going to need is somebody to handle that, because you're probably not going to even look at it. Okay. So that's the first person you need to hire, an admin person, transaction coordinator, somebody who has the patience to walk through that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So, start where you are, analyze where you are, figure out the plan to get there.
Yeah.
To where you want to be. You're going to figure out what you want to double down on, your strengths that you want to double down on. You're going to find your weaknesses that you want to hire out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how do you keep your goals realistic?
Yeah.
I want to be like Undrea, but I don't want to wait 5 years. Like, you've got 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears into where you are today. And both of us would agree we're not where we want to be.
Right.
We're going to continue on this path. Hopefully we hit that 100 units this year. Mm-hmm. Yes,
almost
multifamily. So what do you do? I mean, how do you set a realistic time frame to? If you're the guy that's been working part time at any fast food restaurant. You've been working at Subway,
right?
You're going to get into wholesaling. You can succeed. The story is there. It's all down to your effort,
right?
How do you maintain a realistic goal?
Yeah, I think. Like like they always say, most people usually overestimate what they can do in 1 year and then underestimate what they can do in 5, right? And so I think it goes back to, you have to look at, what do you want the end result to be? And we go back to getting better, right? What do you want the end result to be? And then you just need to break that down, right? And you need to look at, do I see? And so that's why you got to always have a long-term goal, right? You can't go 1 year, I want to be doing, I'm wholesaling and I want to be doing 200 deals a year, right? And you hadn't done the first one. Could be possible, but probably not, right? But could you be doing that in 5 years? Okay. I can put that as my 5-year goal, and I can work backwards so I can do the things that I need to do, not only monthly and weekly, but I can do that daily. That's going to get me there. All right. And so that's how I would go about setting the goals. I would set me a long-term goal out there, and then I would break it down into, what do I need to do this year in order to get me to that goal? So that I can be on track to be able to hit that, and then start working backwards from there.
Yeah.
Right. And
as you're saying this, I'm just thinking about how much better prepared we are now than what we would have going into it. Like, when you and I partnered up, we told somebody, I think it was Sean Terry, that we were going to do 300 deals by X time frame, and he was like, no, it was Justin. Yeah. He was like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, yeah, it'll work.
Yeah.
But
I think it comes from, even that situation, it comes from, sometimes you don't know what's realistic when you first get started. And
that's what I'm saying. So
find a mentor or somebody who's done it. And I think that, they can kind of help you with that gauge, right? they can look at, I mean, even you and I, right? We can look at somebody's skills and what they have right now. If they came to us and said, I'm going to be doing 100 deals by the end of the year, right? And this person's not good at sales, right? They have some other things that don't work with the business. They're a little standoffish. They got a lot of other things going on, right? They're probably not going to hit 100, but let's work at getting them something realistic for the first year until they able to get the business going and they hire somebody for those positions that they're not great at, right? So if they're not good at sales, they need to get somebody in there that's a A+ at sales, right? Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen the same day, right? So then that person is going to need someone. So I think having somebody who's been there that can help you with that, that can help you set that goal and let you know what's realistic and what's not realistic. Now, of course, as entrepreneurs, we hate to be told what we can't do. So at the end of the day, if somebody tells you can't do it, you're probably just going to go work harder. Yeah. Right? Because that's what I'm going to do anyway. Right. Yeah. So if someone says, you're not going to be able to do that, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm not going to make it, but at least I tried. Right. Yeah. But, so what if you end up hitting that goal that they actually said you were going to hit, because you were going for this bigger goal? There's nothing wrong with that. This is the way I see it. I agree. But yeah, I think, but going back, I want to talk about getting better because that's really the big thing about this. Right. So, I talked about setting your goals. Getting better and wholesaling means that you need to be making a certain amount of offers every single day, right? Getting better in wholesaling is not, am I making business cards? Am I trying to concoct the best letter in the world? Am I trying to figure out what color it needs to be? All these things that you're trying to figure out, if it doesn't equal talking to a seller, because the people who are the best at this, they're talking to sellers every single day. Then they go back and start working on what could I have done better? Let me listen to it. Let me get better. Let me practice it. And then they're practicing as they're going. And what happens is they start getting better and better. All right. So you got to get in front of people. You got to go talk to people. That's how you start getting better. And from there, you'll start getting closer towards your goals.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, it's marketing and sales. It's the only thing that makes you money is marketing and sales. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And if you're not doing that, then, the rest of it is, for nothing. Right. Far as, being able to start where you are, what were the points again?
You are your own competition.
Mm-hmm. So don't worry about where everybody else is at. You need just to worry about where you're at. And can you be better tomorrow than you are today?
Yeah. Comparison's the stealer of joy.
Yeah.
Let's see. You got to do self-analysis. Mm-hmm. What are you good at? What are you going to hire out? What are you bad at? What do you suck at? Yeah. I know I'm not applying for the transaction coordinator position.
Yeah.
You want to see me miserable? Yeah. Make me do that.
Right. Yeah. Don't do the things that you don't like to do. Right. So you need to delegate those. And then if you're doing some things that don't even make sense, just cut that out. Like the business card crap, stuff like that, cut that out.
Do you even carry business cards anymore?
I don't think, actually, I think that's an old, we probably shouldn't even talk about that unless you're 40 plus. Because I think
you are 40 plus. Should we talk about it?
That's the only reason I'm talking about it. But like, the younger group don't even, they just like, what's your Instagram? What's your Facebook?
You got to admit, I've rubbed off on you in that regard.
Yeah.
You used to always have your business cards.
Well, we were in the business card times. Yeah.
6 months ago? Yeah, it's been about a year. It's been about a year and a half since you've carried a business card.
Yeah. We were in that back, we were in the time for a while. But now with social media and things like that, it's easier.
I don't know if I've ever called a business card.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
I either put you in my phone right then. Like I have saved numbers off of business cards.
Right.
Absolutely. But I don't know if I've ever pulled a business card out and called that person ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, for me, it was all about being, professional. Right. And so I feel like if I had the business card, I was professional. And actually, as a matter of fact, I think I had someone tell me that one time. I forgot where I was at.
That you're not professional until you have a business card?
I was at a networking meeting or something like that. And the guy was like, you don't have a business card? Right. It's like basically how I'm going to take you serious.
I have a very different mindset. I'm like, you're not a business owner until you wear flip-flops to work. Yeah. That's how we know that you own the place.
Killing me.
You got the owners wearing, the guys in suits getting paid by guys wearing sweatpants and whatnot.
That is true. But you got to earn the right to wear the flip flops. You got to earn the right to wear the flip flops. Because you're right. I think a lot of people, as you saw them, you see people get wealthy. You start seeing them. They just go just as they are, right? Because now, for the most part, they are attracting people. Versus, sometimes when you're first getting started, you're trying to attract people, right? You're trying to attract money. Maybe you're looking for money for funding deals and things like that. So then you have to look a certain part because, money attracts money.
Yeah.
So, but what else do we have?
Look for the guy in the Corolla. He's got the most money.
Most likely. Prius, actually.
Prius. Is it Prius?
It's going to be the Prius.
It's going to be a Toyota regardless.
In 2020, it's the Prius.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the Prius.
No, that's it. I think one important thing to leave everybody with is, when you look at, they say don't ever meet your heroes, right? Because you just find out they're just people. Mm-hmm. We fail every day. We fail all the time.
Yeah.
They're not above you. They're just ahead of you. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to start where you are. It's okay to just embrace where you are because that's the only way you're going to get better.
Right.
Until... Like if your legs are weak, until you just start squatting where you are, and it sucks and it's embarrassing to only have 1 45-pound plate on each side, and you're struggling.
Right.
Meanwhile, there's like women with 4 plates just dumping it in.
Right.
You're never going to get to that point unless you just focus on where you are and then get better.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah. Don't look at the person that is who you want to be or is where you want to be in their wholesale business and envy them.
Yeah.
Envy the work that they've put in and then you'll get there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. So don't get discouraged, guys. Don't look at somebody else and let that take away your joy. Look at where you are, get better every day.
There you go. And then, again, don't forget, if you like what you hear, we do need your help. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and also leave us a review. With that, guys, that's a wrap. Y'all come back now. You hear?